Hello. Welcome to the Holistic Healer Podcast, a podcast dedicated to all things holistic. I am your host, Shirley. Today, I have back on Magdalena White, otherwise known as Raw Coconut Girl. We take a deep dive today into the divine masculine and feminine. We discuss masculinity and femininity historically, how it has changed and is continuing to change over time, and the potential implications and consequences we may see as a result. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Holistic Healer Podcast. I'm your host, Shirley, and today I have back again for part 2, Magdalena, otherwise known as Raw Coconut Girl. Super excited. Thank you for coming back on today. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. So I first off wanted to say that if anyone wants to kind of know your backstory, they can refer to part 1 because we kind of covered that on the first one, how you kind of got into this lifestyle and what brought you to this moment. But today, rather than focusing on raw foods and herbs and that type of thing, we're going to actually talk about more of the emotional side of holistic health, which right now, what's really up is kind of the definition of the masculine and the feminine and what that means. Also, to be spiritual, and also what that means through your eyes, what it means through my eyes, and how maybe it can get a little bit contorted out in the world out there. And also talk about, we're going to kind of dive a little bit into moving through hard, painful, what seems to be dark times into the ability to move into the light, and how sometimes those dark moments are necessary to be able to find that light and to kind of rebirth, in a sense, some things that may be happening within any of our lives that may not be feeling in the moment, and just to that surrender piece that we talked about. So let's kick it off. I thought, starting with masculine and feminine, why don't you describe to me, what does divine masculine, divine feminine mean to you?
It's such a blessing. It's
Yeah.
definitely both these energies are amazing. So
Yeah.
there's nothing better or worse. They're different. And
Okay.
I think that's what people cannot accept, that we are different.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
and a woman is a woman.
A woman is a woman.
And woman is, I like to say, we are the flowers. Like, women are like all these rose petals. Okay, we are this beautiful flower. The woman is a beautiful flower. The man is a thorn.
Yes.
And a stem. So, at the same time. So the man gives the foundation, and we are blooming.
Yes.
That's just how easy
Beautiful.
even the nature is about, right? Yeah, and it shows beauty, and it shows nature, shows the smell, expose the smell. We attract insects as a flower, smelly flower, and they're attracted to the beautiful smell and the nectar that the flower is giving, and we are giving a nectar to nourish family and a man, and we give a life. So I like to say that way, and I'm not trying to be mean at any point with the thorns, because that doesn't mean that they need to be that these thorns are something that's gonna hurt you. It's not. It all depends how man's gonna utilize it.
Exactly.
And right, there could be a positive and negative way of using these thorns, and they can be either paralyzing to our life, or full of drama, or they can be utilized as a strength, as a support, a strong support system, as a providing system, because the stem provides to the flower, so nourish the flower, so the flower can even bloom, and then and gives more babies, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
It's just the whole Yeah, and the thorn can be also very protective.
Yes.
Uh,
And
and
necessary, right? It's necessary. It's a necessary part. You know, you
yes,
can't have the rose without the thorns. It's part of what makes up that beauty of what comes out as the rose, right? So I love that analogy. It's very,
thank
very,
you.
yeah.
Just came up to me from the divine.
Yeah, that's a perfect. It's very, very perfect. And so, okay, so yeah, so the masculine kind of represents that. So in a sense, sometimes there's a word around like containment, the containment of the feminine and
Yeah.
how it's now not sometimes, but it is necessary for the woman to be contained by the masculine. And that doesn't mean controlled.
No.
And my analogy of that
Yeah.
is a clamshell, but the masculine being the shell and the pearl is being the feminine or the woman. And so
Mm,
it's that protector, that protective shell that
like that.
allows that pearl, right?
Hmm.
So
That's like another example of feminine and masculine energy,
yes,
right? The
exactly.
Yeah, beautifully said.
How do you see now, like, how do you see that this now is being disrupted or corroded
Oh,
in kind of relationships, romantic relationships, even the dynamic between in friendships often? But how do you see that kind of playing out now in more of a dysfunctional way?
oh my heavens, on all the ways dysfunctional. Uh, I understand the world is changing, but do we need to change as a male and female, or this is more because of some, I don't want to use certain words here. Uh, let's
Okay.
say it different way. Let's say it different way. Let's say we consume something that is not good for us, and that thing can be damaging to ourselves or
Yes,
can help ourselves to thrive.
you're right.
And yeah, so we pick what we drink, we pick what we eat. That's
Right.
on you. And if you pick a wrong thing, that's on you. You
Hmm.
know, you care about it. Uh, that's your decision. You made a decision. And I believe that what we consume, what we touch, that it's added in
Mm,
water, tap water.
yes.
We all know tap water is not good for us. We all know that's not even a secret anymore. It
Yes.
used to be. Now it's like,
Yeah.
I believe all these toxins, chemicals, and antibiotics. Because I took so many antibiotics as a kid,
Right. Right.
can change your energy, your feminine perspective,
Mm,
your masculine energy, and uh, the toxins. And they're not coming only from the water. I'm just trying to
yeah. You're sure.
compare. It could come from the air that we breathe. It can come from the nervous system. You're full of stress. You cannot calm yourself down, and your nervous system is damaging the cells, and then you're just getting the way you're getting into. And this is definitely not the safest place to be. And I believe all these chemicals, all these toxins and acidosis uh, is changing people's mind.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's not even spiritual.
Yeah. It's
It's
so
an
true.
ego-oriented path. It's ego. This is egocentric move. I believe in that.
Yep.
If
I do
woman,
too.
right? If a woman is becoming feminist and she is like, I'm gonna carry these heavy box, I'm gonna show him,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Exactly. You've become
Like,
so far removed from, what is our innate nature, right? I like to
yeah.
say, like, the way that we relate to the man who's helping us put our carry-on bag in the, in on the airplane up in the storage compartment is the way
Mm-hmm.
that we relate to the masculine in general. So if someone's on the plane, they're like, I'll get that myself. It's fine. you know, that's how they're going to move through, rather than the softness of the feminine allowing the masculine. And the other piece I want to throw in there is that what that does, and sometimes as a woman who is more on the feminist path, not realizing the damage that that's doing to the masculine in those small moments, because it is demasculating for a man who is kind of stepping into that masculinity, like, hey, let me help you, I've got it, and then to be rejected. That's causing a moment of, whether he's conscious of it or not, subconsciously, I feel like that's going to live in his being as a form of rejection towards his masculinity.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You
Yes.
know, it's I would like to bring an example here, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, so everybody thinks that when a woman is unattractive, has a better life, easier, right? No one cares about her, blah, 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 which is not true,
Yeah.
because she can be attractive to someone else. And for some people,
Yeah.
or women, maybe for women, she's not attractive, but for men, she can be attractive.
Right. Right.
And then could be Pamela Anderson, you
Yes.
know, for example, and then crazy attractive, and then they're gonna think she has an easy life as a
Right.
beautiful woman. No, either of us, you, beautiful you, or me, I we don't have easy lives, and the beauty can help, but
Yes.
it's also a curse.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because you have to watch yourself 24/7. I know how, when I travel and I don't attract bad people, so I need to tell you, I always meet gentlemen that help
Yes.
me.
Right.
I've never had a man in my life that said no to me,
Yeah.
like, hey, can you please help me, and can you. So I do attract these real nice
Man, yes. Yep.
even it's not just a relationship, it's just about the
Just in general,
people.
moving through life. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. And getting into the plane, on the train, whatever, and I need that help with that suitcase, there's always someone that is helping me. Or even
Right.
when I get uh, shopping bags, even I know they just want to flirt, but
Yes.
still they're helping.
They're helping. They're still helping you.
I'm like, please,
Yeah.
please, please. I remember when I lived in New York, I bought myself a cart, like Whole Foods cart,
Oh,
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
taking it to the store, and I was like having like 6 watermelons aside. This
Yeah.
was huge. That was a big one, and I had like all my fruits coming out of that cart, and I was pulling that cart in the middle of the winter time.
Oh
It
my
was,
goodness.
oh, what's not? I'm like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. And I didn't live in Manhattan back then. I was living in Queens, so I had to
Okay.
get to Queens
Oh
and
my
get to the
God.
subway. And imagine, I was like, I'm not worried. I just
I
got in
can,
the, there is no way to go down the
oh my
into the
gosh,
subway. Like, there's no even a way to get there when you have
get
a car.
there.
Yeah, and so I just stand like at the
Like,
beginning of the
someone's going to
film.
come and help me. Like the damsel in distress, right?
Yeah, and I was kind of like, oh, they're like kind of like, I cannot just do it. I had
Like
what a struggle.
exaggerating it.
Yeah, they were like, 2 men, okay, let's do it for her. And I'm like, thank you, because I'm gonna be late for this stuff.
Yeah, right. You were like waving your white flag, help me.
And it was really didn't even take 10 seconds for someone to show
Right?
up. And then
Yeah.
I'm getting on that on the train, and see how you attract. So I created that, and then I'm going on the train, and I literally that car behind, and the guy was, hey, I'm gonna help you, ma'am,
Yeah.
or Missy, or a young lady,
Yes. Yeah.
always, even the oldest man there or the younger,
Yeah.
it was very kind. So I always had, and in New York, everybody was telling me, you're gonna struggle, no one wants to help each other. I met amazing men and female
Yes.
in New York.
I
It's
bet.
all about how you
Yes.
see
Because
the
you're
world.
exuding that, right? You're putting
Yeah,
that out there, and you're not, because the one of the problems, I mean, one of the many problems, if you are kind of a card carrying feminist in a
yeah,
sense, and I don't mean to like offend anybody, but just
no,
let's use the word loosely. What happens is we as women, rather than being that soft, open, creative, we end up armoring up. And so we carry around this shield, so to speak, where it's not penetrable by the masculine. And so we give off, we're walking through, and the more women who are stepping into that, we're walking through, and we're affecting the collective in that sense.
Yes.
So that there's more men that aren't willing to help with your bags or help with the suitcase because they're afraid.
Yes.
And so what's happening, in my opinion, is that the masculine is becoming afraid of the feminine, which we've never seen that. That's not how, the dynamic would ever have been in past times.
Mhm.
So do you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I think, maybe not think, I believe that it is important to take an example for your dear gentlemen, just take an example for your grandpa,
Right.
just
Yes,
learn
absolutely.
and don't lose it, because this is like a changing a culture
Mm,
thing as well. In not even culture, that's
yeah,
more than that. It's feminine. No, that's nothing. That was a wrong comparison. Culture is something you can learn,
right,
and you are not born with it.
right.
Where feminine energy is something you're born with it.
Yes.
So, and masculine energy is something you are born with it. You are born with it to have muscles, man.
Yeah.
You are born with that strength that we cannot have.
Yes.
Yeah, we are gentle, we are loving, we're nurturing. The man who wants real beautiful connection, and expects us to listen, to be listened, and also
Yes.
help be his kind of like psychologist at the same time, so therapist at the same
Yes.
time,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
if you expect us to take care of the kids,
Right.
to clean, to do things, sure, I have nothing against that. I can do that if I have a man next by my side that is the real freaking man, that is a
Stepping
provider,
in. Yeah.
protector. Yeah,
A
yeah, that
leader,
is
protector, provider, all of these things. And so,
leader, the number one. So lead me now, boss. Be gentle.
yes.
And woman, I always like to say that we are a mirror for the man, because woman reacts to the man. We never react first.
Right. It's so
We
true.
are reflection. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we are these gentle souls. That's why
Yes.
we are not like, sometimes we can be more like a leader. Like I love leading some very often in a relationship, because it gives, like
Yeah.
winks. It's
Yes.
good to be a leader and boss, right? But it's a
Absolutely.
feminine energy.
Yes. And I mean, the masculine, men have both feminine and masculine energy. Women have both masculine and feminine energy. And sometimes we need to call upon, as women, the masculine, feminine, like sometimes the masculinity needs to come out, maybe to get things done, to get a project done, to, if you're starting a business or something like that. But it should never be that you're leading in your masculine. I think that's where we start to see problems, especially in relationship across the board. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I think also too, the feminine is to guide the masculine into his power, so to speak,
Yes.
because she will nurture that and give support to that, as long as he's not, again, if that part of
Yes.
him is not rejected. And so the other part to that
Accept.
is, yes,
Yeah.
right? And the other part to that is that because we are seeing so many single moms now raising children, the women in many situations are putting down the masculine in front of their male children. And so they're being raised in a home where they're literally like marinating in this kind of toxic masculinity that the feminine is projecting onto that child. So I just feel really like there really needs to be a shift on this. And
Yeah.
how do you see us potentially getting out of this situation that we're in?
Speaking about it, as
Yeah.
we are speaking,
Yeah.
show up
Mm.
young generations that that's not the way to go, like they've been taught by, I don't know, YouTube,
Yeah.
or or the other sources. Is just
Yeah.
insane. I don't believe parents would do that. I think that being too bold and too just like too
Yeah.
much
Yes.
of the teenager, I think it comes from just what they consume.
That was going to be my next point too. It's like, have you, as a healer, have you seen a pronounced switch when you're working with, whether it's feminine or
Oh,
masculine, as they are kind of removing and uncovering those layers through detoxification, for example? Have you seen that kind of ability to embody more of their feminine or masculine traits?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I even experienced that with one of my relationships in the
You did?
past.
Wow.
the oh yeah, when the person enters your life, they want to be the best version of themselves, and at the beginning everything is beautiful, but then
Yes.
real life shows up and it's like a normal routine
Yep.
where can everything reveal and unfold, and either it's gonna be this way or that way.
Yeah.
And I noticed completely change of behavior. So when it was a protocol done, it was calmness and peace in his heart and mind and
Yeah.
soul. And any other client that I work with, and as a part, like for on their relationship, was the same.
It's the
The
same. Yeah.
man was calm and peaceful. Even when I was detoxing, he was a sweetheart.
Yes.
But then something is starting to change. Your intimate life is not like it used to be. Your connection with each other is like you clash.
Yes.
You, I don't know, let's say not you, but
Yeah.
like, what it's just
Yeah.
the
The
example.
the general people out there listening. Yes.
And energy is changing, and then you are thinking, what's going on? what
Mm.
what did I do wrong? What did I do? You blame yourself. You did nothing wrong. Then you dive in deeper, you're discovering that the person is eating meat and dairy again, and since that period of time everything started to shift, and then you
Yes.
start realizing that was the food that was causing it. More than that, I used to run a kindergarten back to Poland. I was in my 20s back then.
Wow.
And yeah, that was a kindergarten. That was like educational now place where kids got education as well.
Right.
That was public. That was like a public school, I guess. Here I can say it.
Yeah.
I want to compare. We have a way better public system in back to Poland. We have what like kind of like a level of the private
Okay.
schools.
Got you.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of that, I was writing that, and I had raw vegan options for the kids and cooked and this and I've noticed like how kids react, how the even the behavior, the HDD that some
Yeah.
children were suffering from is no more present. They are calm and they're like, you're gonna ask them to sit in one spot, they're gonna be sitting there for hours until
Yeah.
you tell them to move. They're very kind. My mom told me when I was little, same with my brother, my mom fed me mostly with fruits. So when the time allowed,
Yes.
she said, I could leave you anywhere. When I told you were 3 years old, when I told you to sit somewhere, you were sitting there until I told you to not to.
Wow.
Wait for me here, until I come back. Or I'm here. And whatever she said, that for me that was saint.
That
And I
was,
was
yeah.
so patient. Yeah. Or same with my dad, anything that was anybody was like telling me I was my, older was a part of my
Yeah.
life. I was listening to. And all the comments that they gave me to support me my journey and stuff. So that was very crucial moment, and I think that's very important to know what, and that's why I even have comparison. When I started eating meat and dairy, I lost all my inner child.
Yes. Yeah, you
I,
you can't access that anymore.
yeah, and no feminine energy much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was nourishing in a relationship, but I felt drained because
Yeah.
I was giving away the energy because I didn't feel that that's not the way to go, that I should have that energy, not giving it away ever. And I can share the energy that I have, or actually send the other energy that is out there, but still keep my energy
Right.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
important.
that's the complete difference. When you realize that, right, when you start eating raw food, I'm pretty sure you
Yeah,
noticed it.
absolutely. Because you're just your ability, your connection ability, and your ability, like you said, to tap into the inner child. I mean, you just feel everything on a level that is, I mean, it until you feel it, it's not really, you can't really describe it in full. It's not and your ability to connect to others and to tap in and to have the intuition, to access that part of the other person and the energy that they're carrying, right? And
Yes.
so it's like so important, I think, to be able to, that's part when I asked you, like, how do you see things kind of changing, and absolutely talking about it, putting it out there, getting more people aware, and then taking responsibility in our
Yeah.
own, as our own sovereign uh beings, and how we choose to live our life, what we choose to eat, our spiritual practice, all of these things will then start to,
I
i I feel like, transform. Maybe if as a woman you're leading in your masculine, it'll start to break down those walls, so that you have, and it'll just happen. I think that oftentimes when we go down the road of detoxification, it just happens organically. It's not even something you just kind of are like, oh, I'm showing up differently now. And I see the world kind of through different eyes. You have more compassion for other people. You're more empathetic. You have more
Yeah.
intuition. You're able to guide, it's just, I could go on and on about that. So I think that that is a really great kind of definition of how we can start to change this dynamic. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
glad you
go.
asked me that, because you read
Yes.
my mind. How see feminine energy when
Yeah,
I
we connect. We're connected.
I can feel you.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel you too.
it's so sweet. Um, I noticed from my personal perspective, like from
Mhm.
personal experience, that meat makes men mad and angry,
Mm.
impatient.
Yes.
And, and I noticed that either it is emotional or even a physical level with my clients.
Okay.
Just observing all the situations,
Yeah.
even when people talk to you, you can easily tell you consume dairy, you consume meat,
Yes.
all these hormones, I believe personally, can have such an impact. They are like a little, how to say it, like like you have joystick
Oh, yeah.
and
Yes.
you use joystick for games, like in the
Yes.
past, like in those old-fashioned games.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and these little joysticks are just like, trying to manipulate
Right.
your cells,
Yeah. It's
and they
yeah.
come from meat and dairy. They have that little kind of, I don't want to say like little organisms, and kind of like living animals that are like
Like they're
joysticks, and
little
they,
manipulators.
yes, oh yeah, 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 little like
Right?
parasites,
Yeah.
manipulated parasites.
Yes.
Ah,
I love that. A
that's
manipulative
what
parasite.
so
I
these
love that.
manipulative parasites. Oh God, new term into
New
speak.
term. We got to add that to the dictionary.
Yeah. So so this lot of manipulative parasites
Yes. Great.
entering your body, trying to manipulate your cells, and actually change the truth, the
Yes.
code that you meant to follow, like your body should follow. It's that that can cause a lot of damage because this is something unnatural to the biological rhythm.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
people, getting losing hair. They the people can lose their hair, or not everybody is of course losing, but they can lose their hair. They can get a traumatic, I don't know, dreams and
Yep.
nightmares. And then,
Nightmares. Hmm.
yeah, and even I like to say traumatic dreams, because it's after trauma, um you feel like you're still there, so it's not even a
Yeah.
nightmare. It's You feel it like you are there, but you're in a dream. I
Like
have
a
dreams
lucid
like,
dream, like lucid dreaming.
oh yeah, but even
Yeah,
more than that.
more than
I don't
that.
even know if there is a name for this, to be
Okay.
honest, because that's something that I even teach in my course, the Bioscience of Healing. There's so many aspects that I just brought up, and never been told about. Like, no one even spoke about these things, and I'm like, and I thought that people know about it, or even people from, I don't know, studying other things or just experiencing. Not many
Yes.
people. I've never heard anybody, oh wow, really, so I discovered that I started writing down these things that had been shown to me in my, I would say, visions, but not even visions, because I don't try to visualize things. They
Right.
just show
They just
for
show
me.
up.
Yeah. And it's like, even 2 days ago, that was the second time in my life that happened. I got a person that came to me in my dream with the name and last name, and I Google searched that person, and that person was in my
Wow.
I want to say, like, came to me with
Yes.
a message.
Wow.
And yeah,
That's
it's
it's
amazing, and that's
amazing.
how. Yeah, and it happened to me before when I was younger. It happened to me more often. Then I lost it. That, and then
Yeah.
and then
Which
it came
happens.
back, and I didn't know what to do with it. I thought, like, oh, I'm imagining, and I never wrote down these names. And there's so many souls that appeared on my way, and I was just like, didn't keep track, and I was like, I'm gonna remember that name. It's so easy to remember that name.
Yes.
And some I wrote it down, and I don't even know where they are. And I never was like very into searching who it is, why that person came to me. And yesterday, and I couldn't sleep, and 2 days, 2 nights ago, and that person came to me, and I know the full name. I know where that person is, and
Wow.
who is that person, and why, and everything. I connected so deeply with that person, and and
Wow.
I
That's
know,
crazy.
I'm wondering where this is going to, because I believe in, and this is nothing, I don't want to call names, because this is something I discovered personally,
Right.
and I've never ever heard anybody talking about stuff like that, because I experienced that. And I talked to many masters about these things. They're like, oh, Magdalena, you just have that gift,
You have
utilize
that
it.
ability. Yeah.
So, and I know how to do it. I know how to do it in a safe way, and it's just I just opened up so many channels throughout the 10 years. Even more than that, since a little
Wow.
bit girl, I was always traveling out of body,
Yeah. Wow.
and I think, yeah. So I'm trying to wrap my head around. That was like a lot of things like this. I don't want to say too much, because there's so many aspects
There's
of
so
this,
many. Yes, absolutely.
but it's just, wow, mind blowing. Yeah. And I had to like message my mom. My mom is number one. She was always into this stuff, and she's like, oh my god, oh
Yeah.
my
She's
god.
so well, she probably is like, you came through her, that vessel of your mother. It's like, she must feel so, like, I know with my kids, I heard Dr. Morse talking about on his talk about spirituality a while ago, about when children come through the mother, and the children come through as like very aware and having the ability to connect and like do the things that you just spoke about. It's
Mhm.
like that, you as the mother, you know, that's like they chose that vessel to come through for a reason, right? So it's pretty amazing. I'm sure your mother is just like, wow, this is amazing and beautiful.
It is. She is such a you know, I call her my angel. She calls me her angel. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, you know,
You're
it's
each
such a
other's angels. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Right?
such a
So
humbling experience.
beautiful.
It's amazing. But you know what's even more amazing? The more, and I need to tell you something spectacular. So being on fruits for so many years, almost, you know, I don't like these numbers because I've been on fruits most of my life, but I needed to
Yes.
come up with my number. And I've been fully on fruits for probably even more than
Right.
10 in 20 years because my everybody just knows me from eating fruits since I
Yeah.
was a kid. Just was pushed by people more like there was a party. Oh, Magdalena, eat, you don't eat anything. You're gonna
Yeah.
die. You
Yeah.
know,
They're
so
they're projecting onto you, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they put that egg in front of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you
I
know, I feel so heavy. I hate it. I
yeah,
always
you
it's like
can't.
feeling puke, that I'm about to puke just seeing it. And it's just like, and I was eating everything but that egg. So even if they gave me a salad and there were other stuff, I just eat that green. And I
The
even
green
had like
around it.
a glass of water, and I was dumping that lettuce. Everybody was looking, what are you doing?
To
Cleaning it from
oh,
that
to like rinse off the lettuce leaf to make sure that it didn't have any egg on it.
and I was doing it under the table when everything was like a special occasion. Everybody was so elegant, and me, so I was as well. And
Yes.
then I had a little, you know, glass of water that I asked for, and I was just dumping
That was your
everything.
little wash basin.
I was giving a wash to every leaf,
Yeah, you were given a
and
wash.
every
Look at that.
tomato, even though tomato probably sucked, you know, had out of some of it. But I'm like, what the heck? I'm gonna eat that's just lettuce. Like, what the heck? So
Wow.
I just want fruit. So, anyways, that was funny. I had so many stories with my family. They just remember all of that, and it's just like we just laugh always because I was hiding food. I don't want to eat what they were giving me. So, and I always was like, you know, my mom kept finding my fruit
Fruit.
everywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Look at that.
And the more I dive in deeper, I still think I'm a beginner. You know, it's gonna be so much fun when I'm gonna be in my 60. Oh my
Yeah.
god! I'm like, I even said to someone because I have a birthday this tomorrow,
Oh,
and
amazing.
and I said,
Wait,
I'm
your
like,
birthday's tomorrow?
yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, amazing. Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thank you, thank you. And you know, it's an amazing thing about it that there's, please celebrate your birthday, guys. This is such a sacral energy that enters you. Don't lie to me and never tell me this thing because everybody's telling me, oh, just a normal day. No.
Yeah.
Don't you feel special on that day, even when you wake up? Don't you feel that kind of
Yes.
wild energy around you?
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah.
I
Like I
feel
was born, I came into this world as a conscious being,
yes.
however
I
many years ago today.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I forgot about my birthday and I woke up and I didn't I was so crazy busy with just the running two businesses, you know, like with the
Yeah.
food, with the helping people on in Hawaii. So anyway, I'm waking up one day and I'm like, wow, what a cool energy feel. What is that about today? I love that, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm like waking up, you know, my mom is calling me. She didn't say anything yet. And I said,
What?
Mom, I feel amazing. Then she calls me and half an hour later, and she's like, you know, singing, and it's just like surprising me. And I'm like, Mom, I forgot I have a birthday today. And I was wondering why I feel that crazy amount
Look
of
at that.
magical
Yes.
love that I that the universe was giving me. It was
Yeah.
like wow, like I'm experiencing orgasm best ever
Right?
in your brain, you know?
Amazing.
Yeah. And
I
I'm
was
like,
gonna say you're Scorpio.
I
You're
don't
Scorpio?
don't believe in zodiac
Okay.
sign.
You don't? Okay. Well, just I was like,
No,
oh, Scorpio, you're water, and I'm water too. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's
but
why we connect. So 12.
yeah, no, yeah. Like you know, I know there's some alignments and
Yeah, yeah,
everything,
yeah. It's just kind of
Of
fun,
course,
right? Yeah.
it is. I even know, I think I have a raising, it's I don't know, is it Cancer? And Capricorn is the
Okay,
other one.
cool.
Something like that. Yeah. And I am more like, I think, Cancer and Capricorn and a Libra.
Yeah. I know, right? You just pick and choose. There's like, oh, I like this trait. I don't like this trait. We'll keep it like that.
It's just I done unfold a lot of things
Yeah.
from even being a Scorpio. From being a Scorpio, I'm an artist.
Yes, right.
And
You're creative. You're
and
creative.
yeah, and it's something opposite than people say, because they're gentle actually. It's
Yeah.
something different about, it's just about the three signs that are around you, two
Yeah.
signs that are around you. That's also important. But yeah. So I'm
But
glad.
all of that to say too,
Uh,
like I feel like for you, I mean, you embody the feminine. I mean, when it's not only how you appear on your exterior, but it's also the way that you speak, the way that your energy, like
yeah,
you embody that femininity. And so, I just invite people to, if you're a woman watching this and you feel like you might be kind of leading a little bit more in your masculine and you want to start, connecting more to that divine feminine within yourself, then, I think that you would be an amazing person to help guide,
yeah.
both the feminine into their femininity and the masculine into their masculinity. So, yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
beautiful.
You oh, thank you.
Of
You're so kind.
course. Yes, true.
I believe, we are everything. I am everything. I'm all these zodiac signs, whatever,
Yes.
I am everything. I am this flower. I am this butterfly. I am
Yes.
everything that feminine energy expresses. And
Yes.
I don't like men, and I hate, limiting myself
Yes, or
and
like labeling yourself. Yeah.
labeling and putting in a box.
Yes.
I don't like to be told how I need to act, and
Yes.
not be myself. So all
Absolutely.
these names categorizing us and
Yes.
putting under the box, or you are Cancer, you're Scorpio, or you're
Yes.
Libra, you are this, this and that, or you're a monkey from the Chinese.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's
so
very confining, isn't it? It
no,
yeah.
yeah, and it's like, who are you really?
Yeah.
Who are you? Ask yourself. You know
Yeah.
best who you are. Who you really are. Ask your heart, and that's gonna
Mm.
tell you. It's not about zodiac signs and
No, it's
just
not.
get all these energies.
Yeah.
I had a friend that she's like, Magdalena, let's check your human design. Magdalena, let's check. No offense to that,
Mm.
to any of them, because there
Sure.
were
Yeah, yeah.
few of my friends that were telling me that. Let's check your, what's that, name of that, where you check on the map if you are, aligned with the place where you live,
Oh,
something like that.
like, well,
You,
there's the gene keys and there's the human design and there's astrology and I mean, there's
probably
everything,
something.
right?
So
Yes.
well, let's see if, yeah, I don't know, Pennsylvania, New York,
Oh, right.
Sicily, Europe, Sicily, Poland, Greece,
Like
Hawaii.
location astrology, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
what is your best for your
Yeah.
soul? And I'm like, I don't need that.
No.
I know where my home is. My home is always on Maui, and it's gonna always be there,
Yeah.
and no matter what. And where I'm just going, that's gonna be a visiting. I'm
Yeah.
the visitor everywhere I go, and so, uh, and my home always gonna be, somewhere where,
Yes.
it's not even here. And I've been in. Oh my gosh, I have such a deep stories to share that I'm still unfolding. Oh my heavens! But anyway, that's not for this conversation. But it's like crazy past lives,
Yeah.
uh, things that happened in the past, that then I was reborn again, and living out of this planet is even more fun. And it's, you know what I mean, like what we have after this, what we built here, we take it
Yes.
there, and then we have amazing spectacular life. So the way we express ourselves here as the best versions of ourselves, we are taking with us. So
Yes.
without labeling, like we don't have pockets to take all these labels with us.
Yeah.
you
It's
know
true. No.
it's that purity. Just go
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
flow, you
Yeah,
know?
just put it all in kind of, because I agree with you. I think that we can get far too, and then you're in a container of what that means. And then stepping outside of that, it doesn't allow you to look at the whole picture because you're
Yeah.
only looking at that small microscopic piece of whatever it
Yeah.
happens to be, right? So
Yeah.
and I just to add to that, I think that the
Yeah.
question, who am I, is a very important question. And I think that people confuse that question with what do I do? How much do I make? What do I own? Because people actually have a very hard time when you ask them, who am I? They have not even thought about it beyond what it is that defines them as a human being by what they own, how much they make, where they live, these types of things,
Mm,
right?
I love saying that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like when the man, when you tell the man that needs to be protector, they
Mm,
think, oh, wow. No,
yeah.
it's not only to be wow.
No.
It's
No.
it,
It can be a little bit of wow,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, of
it's so
course.
much more than that. Yeah.
It's protector. It's making your woman feeling safe, which
Yeah.
is being kind, being loving,
Yeah.
deliver that love. I
Yes.
ask how I feel, ask your woman how she does she feel. It's
Yes.
not how was your day? No. How are you feeling?
Like, how are you
That's
really feeling?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Everything fine? Like, or not
And
even that way. Like,
yes.
I hope, I'm pretty sure it's wonderful in your world. Tell me about it.
Yes.
Something like
And then
engage.
having the ability to hold space for that, because I also feel like there's a lot of fear around emotions. And so, I've talked about this on my podcast so much, and for lack of a better word, the whole kind of bypassing of emotions, because we don't like to feel into like, oh, hey, honey, how was your day? Well, I was really emotional today, and, I'm just not really feeling good. Like, this could be something that comes up. And it's like to really hold space for that so that she can feel safe in that container
Yes.
rather than being
Yeah.
judged, because
Yeah.
we have this the whole I hate the word, I don't like it, but the toxic positivity is something that keeps coming up, that it's like there's only room for these emotions and everything else is not allowed. And so being able to hone your ability to hold space for all of the emotions, and they're all part of the whole, and that the more we can allow for those emotions to come through and be transmuted, of course, there's going to be more joy. There's going to be more happiness. There's going to be
Mhm.
more positivity, but it's not by judging what maybe one may deem to be a not good, like sadness, for example, is
Yeah.
right. And it's, yeah,
Yeah, beautifully said,
yeah,
on point. And just putting someone down, just like men tends, not everyone, but a lot of them can use wrong words.
yeah,
And to just even talk to the woman, I think it's important for men to take
yeah,
a lesson on how to be female a little bit too,
yeah,
and open
yes,
up that female energy, because female energy, especially nowadays, it's like crucial. Let me just bring up one quick example, because I know we need to finish soon, but
yeah, yeah.
uh, just quick example I want to give you. Of course, my own experience, as always. I don't like to bring up other people's experiences about
Okay.
myself,
Yeah.
based on me, on my experience. So I was tapped into masculine energy for so long, living on Maui in Hawaii.
Yes.
Um, because I had to run the business,
Right.
I had to work for 4 people at the same time, and nobody want to work, but everybody wants to get paid.
Fade.
And
Mhm.
it's very hard. And as a woman, to handle all of that, but I did it because, of course, who I want to do it, like, of course I'm gonna do it. So, and it was fun, it was amazing,
Sure.
but imagine after a while I felt burned out.
Absolutely.
I couldn't do
Yes.
anything. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not female anymore.
Yeah.
Where was the last time I painted? Where was the last time I created music? Where was the last time I smelled a flower? Where was the last
Yeah.
time I treated myself with a
Mhm.
massage. Where was the
Yes.
last time I just met a friend
Yeah.
for a tea? You
Yeah.
know, like I don't do it. When was the last time I even watched a silly sitcom comedy or
Yes.
like anything?
Yes.
Nothing. I don't do anything. And I'm like, I only work 24/7, 7 days a week, and either helping people or making food. And I'm like, where am I in all of that? You
Yeah.
know? And then after everything, all the trauma, not bringing up what happened, we all know. And then it's been like two months, two
Yeah.
months, I think, after that happened,
Yeah, it has been. Little over.
right? So I'm like looking from the further perspective on all of that. I'm like, what? How did I do all of that?
Yeah, right?
I'm like, and now I'm like so tapped into my feminine. I
Oh,
will never
see, look at
let
that.
it go again.
Yes. So how
Because
amazing is that? Like what a beautiful example of living, having to really access that masculinity within yourself, leading with that, watching the
yeah,
feminine kind of fall by the wayside, and now
yeah,
having time to step back and reflect and actually
yeah.
see that and be like, hey, I'm not doing that again. Because
Mhm.
probably if you would have kept going, you would have lost your, not lost yourself, but that feminine. I think the more time goes by that we're not in our feminine, it just becomes more normal to, show up in the masculine, and then, trying to create a relationship out of that, trying to like create
No, and
it's
then you bring that energy into your
right,
relationship.
exactly, right.
Mhm.
So in a way, and this is, we didn't really get a chance to talk to it. We'll have to do a third because I was going to say that would be a great lead into, look at how the trauma and the absolute darkness of that event that happened in your life, for example, and many others. I'm just kind of speaking for you and I right now in this
Yeah.
container, that, without that having happened, you would be still in that role, right? You would still be in that role. You would
You
still
know,
be,
yes, because anybody I talk to is like, Magdalena, come back, like do it again.
yeah,
Who told you I stopped doing it?
yeah,
You know what I mean? This is not about me not doing it, me
right.
giving up something. Heck no. I
No,
have so much strength. I just respect myself. And now, of course, I'm gonna keep going,
yeah,
but you know how?
yeah,
Once I am ready, I'm just gonna start hiring people to do that.
yeah,
And I'm not
yes,
doing it by myself anymore.
right.
All
You have a,
I build up. Yeah.
yes, you have,
There is a
surround yourself
foundation.
with support.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Allow people to help you. But see, even if I needed help, you know, on Maui, people just love catching waves.
yes,
So instead of going for work, oh, Magdalena, I'm gonna be there at 2 p.m. because I'm
right.
catching a wave. And
And
I'm
who
like, you
picks
should.
up the slack for that? You, right? So it's creating, but now look at that. You're going to be able to step into that space in a different way now.
Oh, yeah.
And without having had that time to reflect and experience that, it's like, okay, right? So
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I mean, all of it's beautiful. And I always like to say nothing's happening to us, it's happening for us. Everything is on purpose, everything's in divine timing. And even in the moments when we feel like things are at the darkest of the dark and the lowest of the low, that is where the growth and the evolution happens for each and every one of us. And you are a shining example of that. And you
Yeah.
are so beautiful. And I love you so much. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. And I think we're literally going to have to do a part 3, because we were supposed to talk about, the we should
I'm
just start a
open to
series.
it.
We should
Let's
start a
do it.
weekly series, right? We'll do a weekly series on all of these different topics because they're endless,
Absolutely.
right?
Let's heal the partnership,
Let's
let's
build a
heal.
partnership, you
Yeah,
know?
let's heal even just like female energy.
Yes.
That's what my course, the bioart science of healing, is also helping female. Yesterday I was interviewed by for Dr. Morse's International School of the Healing Arts, and we've been talking about it. Like I was like, it's important to male and female they think they have feminine energy. They think they have male energy. No, they do not, because it's lost. So, and the gifts, guys, we are all born with all these gifts. Yes, these hands have a power.
Power and purpose.
You can make fantastic things, and it's not only on a physical level, it's an astral level. It's how your body is a living energy.
Absolutely.
Fueled by living living food that comes from nature, that comes from fruit, that especially from the fruit.
We're taking in that energy.
Herbs and vegetables, and whatever you consume, you pass it on and you connect. And when you are so on point with what you eat, and if someone comes to me and tell me, Magdalena, I have such out of body experience, this and that, I'm like, okay, something is wrong with this person. They're very high vibrational, and it's not judgmental. I just feel something is off, and I'm like, what do you consume? I'm just wondering, and because I can smell the body's odor and stuff, and I am a vegetarian. I'm like, okay, you don't know what you're seeing. It's just and it's nothing judgmental, but I went through these processes.
It's the awareness level is just not there.
Mind blowing. The things that you can see and that they are shown to you. They're unbelievable. And I remember when I was in my mom's womb. And someone was telling me, what? I do remember. I remember I was in a matrix, you know what I mean? I was there. And I remember she was singing to me. I remember I was sucking on my,
on your little thumb.
Like, which one? Because I don't know which one is developed yet. But I was swimming there. I was having fun, and it's just I didn't even want to leave because it was so warm and cozy. And I maybe that's why I like cozy places now, or small. Bigger.
That's me too, totally. 100%.
Because we feel safe. It's like a mother's womb. So so I do remember being in her womb, and I remember the connection I had with her. And I remember when she ate something that was even salty back then. I was like, what is that? Because you're connected with your mom. And my mom was eating a lot of fruit, so I'm pretty sure that's also why I remember picking my mom too from the other world. That's crazy. Like all of aspect, and this is not a magic. It's real.
It's real. It's absolutely real.
No, and there are few people can relate to a lot of things, and if there are just so many not even proofs. I don't need to prove anything to anyone.
No, you don't need to. I always tell my kids, I'm like, thank you so much for choosing me. Thank you so much for choosing me, to be your mom. Because I know that's so true. They chose, and it's such a beautiful connection when you have that knowledge to be able to, and the insight and the awareness to be able to tap into that.
Your children are so blessed to have such a beautiful mom.
Oh, thank you. They're beautiful. All three of my kids, they're just such
three kids.
Three. They're so beautiful. They're so I mean, they're adults now, but they're they're just, well, they're always going to be my little kids for sure. But listen, we are Magdalena and I are going to be going on to an Instagram live right now, and we'll save it. So after you finish watching this, you guys can hop on to, we're going to do it on Magdalena's Instagram. So you'll probably save it there under your lives, and stay tuned because we're going to do another one of these on a different topic that's very important.
Absolutely. We have so many topics.
We have so many topics. Stay tuned for part 3. Bye,
Absolutely.
everybody. Thanks, love.
Right on.